Hello students, hello. Please let me know if you can hear me or not. I am here live. Hi sir, hi Chikmagalur. Good evening. Oh nice. You guys stop discussing about your personal things here. After the lecture is over you can discuss whatever you want. So as you know that today I am going to discuss electromagnetic induction, simple but yet tricky chapter, right? Students ignore it because thinking that maybe it is an easy chapter, but sometimes some objectives, some MCQs from this chapter can be tricky. So we will see all the types of MCQs from this chapter. First question, and you know the rule, whenever you answer you have to mention the question number, that is 1, and then whatever option you think is correct, say 1A. So 1A, 1B, 1C, whatever is that, you have to answer it. So first question, as usual I try to keep the first question easy. Shagufta, hi Shagufta, Pradeep. 1D, the SI unit of magnetic flask is Weber. Simple, right? Don't confuse, it is not Weber per meter square, it is Weber. Now next question, consider the following statement. So statement based question. Okay, number 1, Lenz's law gives the polarity of induced EMF in a circuit. Okay, so Lenz's law gives the polarity of the induced EMF in a circuit. Whether it is true or not, just I will tell you in a while, but first I will give you time to answer this. Lenz's law is in accordance with the law of conservation of energy. Between the given two statements, both are true. Only statement 1 is true, only statement 2 is true, both are false. This is not a reason and assertion based question, simple straightforward questions. Two statements are given and it was asked from you to see whether both are correct or not. Okay. JE aspirant, the session it will go minimum 1 hour up to 1 hour 10 minutes. This is an easier, slightly easier chapter. So 1 hour 10 minutes to 1 hour 20 minutes maximum. Okay, that includes the discussion at the end of the lecture. Otherwise, main class will be over by 1 hour 1 hour 5 minutes. Okay, not more than that. Okay, so Lakshmi 2A, 2A. Sir, please clarify, copper is diamagnetic or not? Aman Shetty, yes, good question. So copper is a diamagnetic material in a bulk property. When you consider that this is a little complicated thing, I did the study about it. So bulk property of copper, it is a diamagnetic, but atomic copper is a paramagnetic substance. Okay, copper has lone pair, so lone pair means it will be paramagnetic, but when you consider a bulk property, that is when you consider the copper as a whole, a big chunk of copper, it is diamagnetic. There are some reasons behind it, there are a lot of theories behind it. That theory and explanation is not for your not up to your class. Okay, quantum mechanical explanation is there, but bulk property of copper, it is a diamagnetic. Atomic property, it is a atomic copper is a paramagnetic. Okay, that much is sufficient. Okay. Okay, 2A. So people are saying both are true. Yes, Lenz's law gives the polarity of the induced EMF. We know that induced EMF is minus d phi by dt, right, rate of change of flask, and this negative sign is coming from the Lenz's law. So be careful, this this gives you the polarity because it says that it opposes the change. So that is why opposes means the polarity is defined, right? So Lenz's law gives the polarity, also it is the conservation of energy, both are correct. Question number 3, in electromagnetic induction the induced EMF in a coil is independent of. So in electromagnetic induction, induced EMF in a coil is independent of change in the magnetic flux, time of the change in magnetic flux, resistance of the circuit, number of turns in the coil. So from what it is independent of? So very interesting question. Pradeep is saying 3A, Dev is saying 3C, Shagupta is saying 3C. Pradeep, why 3A? So induced EMF is basically minus d phi by dt, right? So it depends on the magnetic flask, it depends on time. Now magnetic flask, for a coil having n number of turns, if the number of turns is n and for one single coil if it is phi, then the total magnetic flux is given by n phi. Now, n is a constant, so that n comes out. For a coil you can write the induced EMF to be minus n d phi by dt, where d phi is the linked with one single coil. Okay, n is the total number of coils, right? This is the formula. So, it depends on phi, it depends on t, it depends on number of turns, it is independent of the resistance of the circuit. Okay. So, the induced EMF is independent of resistance of the circuit. So, obviously correct answer is option C. So, yes. Sir, what about permanent dipole moment? Is it exhibited by paramagnetic or ferromagnetic? Pradeep, I forgot to check that part. I will check it and I will answer it in the comment below of the Saturday's video. Okay, please check there. Okay, permanent dipole moment. Because permanent dipole moment is there for if you are talking about magnetic dipole moment. Okay, so I will check it and I will mention it. Okay, just a second, someone is calling me. Okay, ठीक है. Now let's move on to the next part. An EMF is induced across the ends of moving conductor coil in a magnetic field. This is in accordance with Ampere's law, Gauss's law of electrostatic, Gauss's law in magnetism, Faraday's law. Easy question. If you consider this question independent from this chapter, because the chapter name is given, answer is very obvious, but if the chapter name is not given, then it might create some confusion. So, that is why when we are doing chapter wise questions, maybe you will find it easier to answer, because only one concept is from this chapter, other concepts are from other chapters. But when you are answering this in your final exam, then you do not know which question is from which chapter. So, that is why this kind of confusion occurs, but right now this is an easy question. Yes. So, 4D is the answer, Faraday's law. As I said, EMF induced across ends. EMF induced is basically given by Faraday's law and the polarity is given by Lenz's law, right. Now, the dimensional formula for inductance is interesting question. Can you answer it quickly? Sorry, I closed the internet. Five BB. Shagupta is saying 5B. Let's see if my chats are getting refreshed or not. Okay, no one else is answering. Yes, m L square T to the power minus 2 A to the power minus 2. So, you have to remember L is 2, T is minus 2, A is minus 2. So, this is the dimensional formula for inductance. Okay, you have to memorize it, or if you try to find it, maybe it is slightly difficult at times, but this is the easiest way. Okay. Now, next, inductance of a coil is independent of. So, inductance of a coil is independent of the geometry of the coil, the medium inside the coil, the current through the coil, the number of turns in the coil. Okay. Very interesting question. Shagupta is saying 6B, Pradeep is saying 6A. So, inductance of a coil is, if you see the formula, I do not remember the exact formula, geometry of the coil is there because area is involved. So, area involved means inductance is proportional to area. Okay. So, area means obviously it is dependent on the geometry of the coil. Okay. It does not depend on the medium whatever inside the coil. So, inductance depends only on the area it depends on the current, it depends on the number of turns in the coil. Okay, it is independent of the medium inside the coil. So option B is the correct answer. Okay, 6B, yes, Shagupta and Karthik, you answered it correctly. Correct answer is option B. Okay. The phenomena of induction of EMF in a coil due to change in the current through the same coil is called. So phenomena of induction of EMF in a same coil. This is a coil. So the current is trying to change in the coil, and because of that current change, okay, there is an induced EMF in this same coil. What is the name of this? Mutual induction, self induction, motional EMF, induction of magnetic field. 7B, 7B, 7B. So it is self induction. Yes, only one coil means self induction. If it is more than one coil, 2 coil, 3 coil, that is called mutual induction. Mutual induction though defined only for 2 coils in combination. Okay, so if there are 2 coils, the main thing that we interested is in the mutual inductance. Okay. Now more detail about mutual inductance is not part of your syllabus, neither of the KSET, but some JEE aspirants might find some questions related to mutual inductance. Anyway, let us move on to the next part. Which physical quantity plays the role of electrical inertia? Another interesting easy question. So electrical, what is the meaning of inertia? Inertia is the property by which a object which wants to stay its in current position. For example, you want to stay back, lay back, okay, you do not want to study, that is natural, that is the inertia within you, that is the physics, right. So you want to stay static, that is the inertia. Now electrical inertia means if the charge flows through a conductor, there is a property which try to prohibits that motion of the charge, motion of the current through it, and that is called electrical inertia. What is that? Motional EMF, mutual inductance, induced current, self inductance. Okay. Karthik is saying 8C ID. Okay, Radha is saying 8D, Karthik is now corrected to 8D, Shagupta is saying 8D. Yes, self inductance. Okay, only one conductor. One conductor self inductance is more natural than mutual inductance. Mutual inductance is only when 2 conductors are present. Otherwise, all conductors try to prohibit the motion of any charge through it by applying mutual self inductance. Okay, self inductance is basically another term for electrical inertia. So electrical inertia and self inductance are the same. Now question number 9, if the current flowing through a coil is doubled, the magnetic energy stored by it is also doubled, becomes halved, becomes 4 times, becomes 1/4 of the initial value. Punit and JEE aspirant, please mention the question number. Okay, because as you know that when I am live streaming, there is a lag, there is a 10-second lag from my end to go to your side. It takes about 10 seconds from your side to come back to me, it takes another 5 to 10 seconds. So total 15 to 20 seconds lag is there. So if you are answering randomly, I will not be able to understand. By the time you answer, I may have already solved it and I have moved into the next question, but you have taken some time and you maybe are falling behind slightly. So whenever you are answering, mention the question number so that I can identify whether your answer is correct or not. For example, in this case, if you answer D, maybe your answer is not correct. So what is the energy stored in a in case when the current is flowing? We know that that is half Li square. Now if you make initially, suppose this is U1, now you have doubled the current, so the energy stored will be half Li2 square, right. So it will be half L into 4I square, that is 4U1, right. Just pardon me slightly. Okay, so it will be L2I whole square, so it will become 4U1. So it will be 4 times. So energy will become 4 times the initial value. Okay. Now another matching question, match column 1 with column 2, the appropriate option in column 2. Now you may not know all the matching. First you have to start with whatever things you are sure, okay, I know that, from there you check the options, and if you can find it, that is fine, right. So, first let us see self induced EMF. Induced EMF induced in a rod moving in a magnetic field, AC generator and transformers. So, these are the 4 options. Now, I know that EMF induced in a rod moving in a magnetic field is called motional EMF. So, basically with B we can match P, okay, with B we can match P. Now, let us see other options. Electromagnetic induction by changing the orientation of the loop, okay. So, changing the orientation of the loop, in electromagnetic induction by changing the orientation of the loop is basically AC generator. So, this will be Q, okay. Mutual induction is transformer. Transformer works by the principle of mutual induction. So, these 3 I know. Now, self induced EMF is also called back EMF. This is something which you may not be sure about, but if you do all the 3 matchings, you can say, okay, for sure this is the self induced EMF, okay. This is nothing other can be matched. So, A is with S. So, we have 2 candidates, A with S, okay, B with P, B with P, okay, both of them are matching with B with P. Next is C with Q, C with Q is only 1, and D with R. So, D with R. So, correct answer is option A. So, you have to check one by one and eliminate the incorrect answer, okay. 10A, 10D, no, Shagupta, 10D is not, 10D is not. So, I said that for 10D these 2 are incorrect matching. So, 10D is not, okay. 10A is the answer. Punit is wrong. Punit, you have to be careful while answering this question. Pooja Shri is correct, Pradeep is correct, okay. Now, let us move on to the next question, okay. In an AC generator, when the plane of the armature is parallel to the magnetic field, both the magnetic flask and EMF are maximum, both magnetic flask and EMF are 0, the magnetic flask is 0 and EMF is maximum, magnetic flask is maximum and EMF is 0. So, let me draw the diagram to clear the doubts that you might have. So, here is the, suppose we have a north pole, here we have a south pole, the magnetic field lines are passing like this. Now, there is a case where the armature is parallel to this electric field. So, what is the flask, what is the EMF? Quickly, let me drink some water in the meantime. B. Shagupta is saying 11B. Both magnetic flask and EMF are 0. Okay, so this is one option. So, if you see magnetic flask is 0, no doubt about it. So, magnetic flask is 0, why? Because the electric field lines are not crossing this field perpendicular, okay. If the field is perpendicular, so for example, if the plane was like that, when the plane was like that and electric field lines are passing through it, then obviously the electric flask will be maximum if the angle was 90 degrees. So, in this case it is flat. If the armature coil rotate like this, all the field lines will pass through it. So, the magnetic flask will be maximum. Now, magnetic flask is maximum means does not necessarily mean that electric induced EMF will also be maximum. Now, when the change happens, then only if there is a change between electric flask and electric flask and with time, then only the EMF is induced. So, in this case, when the maximum flask was there, suddenly the armature coil rotates to the 0, that means the change in the flask is maximum. So, the change in the flask is maximum means EMF will be maximum, okay. So, because this was initial case, so initially it was like this, okay, into the perpendicular to the field line. So, that in that case flask was maximum, electric induced EMF was 0. Now, suddenly it rotate like this, and when it comes here, okay, the change in the magnetic flask is now maximum. Even though the flask linked with this is 0, even though the flask linked at this moment is 0, okay, the change in the flask change is maximum. So, change in the flask change is maximum means the flask is 0, but EMF is maximum. Very, very interesting question. Okay. So, this is not a question that I have made myself, it was taken from your PU board suggested questions only. So, you can not ignore such question. You might think this question is slightly hard, salpa hard, but it is not hard. This is a standard question. That is why I said even though the chapter is easy, some questions are not simple, some questions are tricky. Now, let us move on to the next question. The figure shows a long straight current carrying wire. So, long straight current carrying wire, okay, it is shown here. What else? Wire placed along the axis of a circular conducting ring. So, this is a conducting ring, okay, this is a conducting ring and this is a current carrying wire. Conducting ring does not have any current through it initially, okay. Wire placed along the circular conducting ring. When viewed from above, okay, the induced current in the ring is clockwise if the current in the wire is increasing. The induced current in the ring is anti-clockwise if the current through the wire is increasing. The induced current in the ring is clockwise if the current through the wire is decreasing. There is no induced current in the ring even when the current through the wire is changing. Okay. Interesting question. Punit is saying, yes, Pujashri and Shagupta, you have answered it slightly incorrect. Okay, yes, that was 11C, yes, 11C was right. Now, 12D is saying, Punit is saying 12D. 12D, anyone else, Shagupta or anyone else, why it is 12D? So, you have to understand that if this is a current carrying wire, the electric field lines are basically like this. So, basically they are concentric circles, okay, and the flask is nothing, no flask is linked with this coil, even though it is increasing or decreasing, flask linked with this coil is basically 0. Flask linked with this coil is 0 because they are in the same plane, right. No flask change happens in the coil. So, no field changes. So, it will be definitely 0. Okay. There is no induced current in the ring even when current through the wire is changing because flask is not linked with this coil directly. Okay. So, if it is perpendicular, then maybe some flask is changing, some induced current is changing. Okay. Now, let us see this another question. So, this is also looks like an interesting question. The following figure shows a conducting rod moving towards left on a rectangular conduction loop. Okay. So, this is a loop, conduction loop, and it is passing. Here we have resistance R1, resistance R2, the velocity is given here V and it is B, okay, and it is into the page of the paper. So, cross means into the page of the paper. Okay. The whole setup is placed on a perpendicular magnetic field pointing into the plane of the paper as shown. The direction of the induced current in the left part is anti-clockwise and in the right part it is clockwise. Okay, the direction of induced current in the left part is clockwise and in the right part is anti-clockwise. The direction of induced current in both part is anti-clockwise. Both part it is there is no current induced in the left part. Okay, very interesting. Aditya, Achyut is answering B, Pradeep is answering 13A, Achyut now corrected to A. So, first of all, the magnetic field is into the page of the paper, right. So, and the motion, so we have to use a old rule, that is right hand rule for induced current. Okay. So, first of all you have to say that okay, the magnetic field is into the page of the paper, the motion of the object is in the left hand side. So, electrons will move in the upward direction. So, electrons will experience a force in the upward direction. So, electrons experiences a force in the upward direction means current will be downward direction. Current in the downward direction means in this case it will be like this, and in this case it will be like this. Okay. So, it will be anti-clockwise for left side and it will be clockwise on the right hand side. Okay. For left hand side it is anti-clockwise and right part it is clockwise. Yes. So, option A is the correct answer. Okay. You can use right hand rule or any other rule that you think. Punit is saying induced current will oppose the change in the magnetic flask. Okay, that is also fine. Whatever logic you use, that is fine. Okay, but I try to remember using right hand rule. So, the motion of the electron will experience some force. The force is given like this. So, that is why I try to calculate it. Okay. Pradeep is saying V cross B. Yes, V cross B is also fine. V is given in this direction and B is into the paper. So, V cross B is yes, that is also fine. So, V cross B, yes, current is in downward direction. Yes, that is also fine. So, V cross B, current downward direction. So, V is in this direction, okay, into the page of the paper. So, V is in this direction, B is into the paper. So, current will be downward direction. Current downward direction means current will be fixed in this rod, right? Current will be fixed in this rod. So, current will pass like this in this case and in this case, and both side there will be current. Don't forget that current will be on both sides. Okay. So, there is an option mentioned that there is no induced current in the left part, which is wrong, because it only gives you an induced EMF. Induced EMF will definitely can send current on the left side as well as right side. Okay. So, on the left part it is anti-clockwise, on the right part it is clockwise. Okay. Very interesting. This is a hot question and I see many of you actually have answered this correctly, which is very good. Okay. Shagupta, no, 13B, 13A was correct answer. Punit, no, Punit, you have to understand, yes, 13B is not the correct answer, 13A is the correct answer. If the angular speed of the rotating armature of an AC generator is increased, so angular speed of rotating armature of a AC generator, so you have increased the speed of the angular rotational speed. The frequency of AC increases while the peak EMF remains the same. The peak EMF increases while the frequency of the AC remains the same. Both frequency of AC and the maximum EMF increase. Both frequency and AC, both the maximum EMF remains the same. So, what we are doing? We are rotating a coil linked with the armature coil. So, we have given one example that there is a north pole, south pole. This is the this is how the AC generator looks like, and here we have armature coil. Okay, it is rotating in this magnetic field to produce electric current, AC current, right? So, what we have done? We have increased the speed of the rotation. Okay, even though the AC generator, the complete function of AC generator is not there, but you have to remember that one part of this AC generator produces positive, negative, and this is when this is positive, the other half is negative. When this is negative, the other part is positive. So, this is how we get alternative generation. Okay, AC generator, right? So, they change the direction after some time, and because of that change, okay, there is a frequency. Frequency means for example, our household supply is 50 hertz. Okay, most of the parts in India we use 220 volt 50 hertz supply. So, 50 hertz means it is changing it is rotating 50 times in 1 second. So, obviously, if you increase the speed of rotation, the frequency will increase. Okay, frequency is increasing, that is we are sure of. So, if it is faster rotating means the switch between positive and negative is faster. So, frequency is changing, but what is happening to the peak EMF? Is it changing or not? So, peak EMF will change. Why? Because if you increase the rotation, speed of rotation, then what is happening? Even though the delta phi is constant, delta phi EMF is equal to d phi by dt, right? So, d phi will remain constant. The maximum and minimum value of d phi will be same, but what is happening, dt is reducing because you have increased the rotational speed. Now it is taking less time for the same amount of change. Same amount of change, d phi is not changing, that is why the question is interesting. So even though d phi is changing with constantly, dt is reducing, that is why the frequency of AC increases and peak EMF both are increases. Okay, so option C is the correct answer. Let's see 14C, 14C, Pradeep C also for 14C. Yes, 14C is the correct answer for this question. Okay, and if you remember the expression for induced EMF in an AC generator, there is a term called omega directly there. So omega directly there means if the armature coil rotates faster, that means more amount of EMF is produced there. That is another way to remember it. Now another statement based question and simple statement based question, not the reason, assertion reason. Statement 1, when two coils are wound on each other, the mutual induction between the coil is maximum. Okay, the mutual induction does not depend on the orientation of the coils between the two statements. Okay, so they are saying that when the coil is wound on each other, that means they are wounding like this. So they are like this. Okay, so mutual inductance is maximum, and they are saying that mutual induction does not depend on the orientation of the coils. So suppose I have one coil like this, will it change? Okay, mutual inductance. Or if I have a coil like this, what will happen to the mutual inductance? And one more thing, if you remember that mutual inductance does depend on the orientation of the coils. Okay, yes. For self inductance is obviously not dependent on the orientation of the coil, that is simply depends on the single coil. But when you wound two coils, either of the statement is definitely incorrect, that much is sure. If this is correct, then this is incorrect. If this is correct, then this is incorrect, right? So this much is clear, both are contradictory, so both cannot be true. So option A is definitely not correct, but we have to identify which one is true. So when they are wound one over another, the flux linked with these two coil is maximum, right? So entire flux coming from the first coil is linked with the second coil, so definitely mutual inductance will be maximum. So statement 1 is definitely correct, so statement 2 has to be incorrect. Okay, so if statement 2 was correct, then it does not depend on the orientation, so that does not mean that however you wound, you will get the same mutual inductance, right? There are different values for mutual inductance of in such cases. Okay, if you have studied in JEE, you will know, otherwise that formula is not there in the syllabus. I will not discuss because it is not neither important for PU, not important for KSET. JEE we are not discussing, so we will leave it. SI unit of mutual inductance of pair of coil is. So now we are trying to find what is the unit of mutual inductance. Okay, another easy question. Yes, 15C was correct. Achyut, whenever you are answering, please mention the question number so that I know. Yes, please mention the question number so that I know. Pradeep, Punit, and I can't read Kannada. I can understand Kannada, but I cannot read Kannada. Please, if you tell me your name, I will be able to help you out. Anyway, 16A, people are saying 16A. Henry, yes, Henry is the unit of mutual inductance, Henry is the unit of self inductance, and Henry is the unit of inductance. Whenever you see the term inductance, the unit is Henry. Okay, in the chapter AC, we do not mention whether it is mutual inductance or self inductance, we just say it is inductance. So inductance means Henry, be it mutual, be it self, be it simply any inductance. Okay, so inductance means Henry, Henry means inductance. Which of the following quantity is measured in Weber per ampere? Okay, which of the following quantity is measured in Weber per ampere? So what is Weber? Weber is flask, and Weber per ampere. So, answer given is magnetic flask, electric flask, self inductance, electric field. Let us see who can answer this. Hi Uday, okay Uday. Uday, whenever you answer, please mention the question number, so that even if you are late, I can see your answer. Okay. Punit is saying 17C, Pradeep 17C, Uday is saying 17A. Okay, let us see. Magnetic flask, Weber. One important thing, magnetic flask is, what is magnetic flask? So, magnetic flask itself is Weber. Okay, Weber itself is magnetic flask. So, Weber per ampere cannot be magnetic flask. Okay, unit of magnetic flask is given by Weber. Okay, so Weber cannot be magnetic flask itself. Weber per ampere is basically, let us see, 17C. So, yes, it is another unit of self inductance. It is basically Henry. Weber per ampere is Henry. Okay. Weber per ampere is Henry, another term. Okay, like you use different terms. For example, Newton meter is joules, right? So, joules and Newton meter are same unit. Similarly, here Weber per ampere and self inductance are same quantity. An AC generator is a device used to convert electrical energy to mechanical energy. Device used to convert mechanical energy to electrical energy, both A and B, none of the above. Another easy question. I hope most of you will answer this question correctly. Pujasri is saying 18A. Pujasri, read the options once more. I will not tell you. Pradeep 18B, Uday is saying 18B. So, yes, device used to convert mechanical energy to electrical energy. Generator is what? You have seen generator, that is there in your maybe in your when there is a festival happening in your locality, they use some machine. Okay, we used to call that generator. They nowadays modern generators are very good. They come on a truck or lorry, which is having a very high power capacity. When I was a kid, there was no such big generators available. They used to use handheld generators. So, someone will come with the device, they will rotate it, and after some time it will start making some sound, cut. Whenever there is a power cut, that device is used. That is the generator. That is the AC generator actually. Okay, and nowadays modern generators use diesel in a more efficient way than that handheld generator. It does not require manual operation. It comes with completely automatic operation, right? So, basically AC generator is something which converts mechanical energy to electrical energy. Okay, all our powers basically comes from this fact. Okay, so if you may have heard about hydroelectric power, you may have heard about coal power or wind turbines. All the powers that we receive in our household basically done by an AC generator. Okay, and everything is, the principle is very simple. Okay, there is a turbine. The turbine is attached to an armature coil. The turbine rotates, the armature coil rotates in an already existing pre-existing magnetic field, strong magnetic field, and as the turbine rotates in that magnetic field, it produces an induced EMF. That induced EMF is used in our house. Okay, 18B is the correct answer. Now, all the other questions are slightly simpler. You will get some difficult question again at the end of the part. So, we will go through the easy questions quickly. The SI unit of mutual inductance, another same question, somehow it is repeated. Henry, yes. The expression for motional EMF is, BVL, BVL sin theta, BVL cos theta, BL by V. 19B, 20, question number 20. Pradeep is saying 20A. Expression for motional EMF. Punit is saying 20b, Uday is saying 20b. Yes, correct is 20b, BVL sin theta. Okay, if you remember that induced EMF is basically when we consider the induced EMF in the motion, we say that magnetic field is perpendicular, right? So that is sin theta is 90 degrees. This is the easier one. If it is not 90 degree, we have to take the component and that will be giving you a sin theta. Okay, so BVL sin theta 20b is this is the common general formula. Okay, BVL is a special case where theta is 90 degrees. Okay, motion is in this direction. Okay, and magnetic field is into the paper, so they are perpendicular. That means sin theta is 90 degree. Okay, this is a special case when they are perpendicular. Otherwise, BVL sin theta is the general expression. Now, next question: the magnetic flux through a surface of area A placed in an uniform magnetic field B is defined as B dot A, B cross A cross B, B by V. B by V is wrong anyway because it will be B by A. Okay, B vector by A vector. Pradeep 21A. Yes, 21A easy question. Magnetic flux is a scalar quantity. So, scalar quantity means it will be obviously B dot A, not B cross A or A cross B, and this is not even a quantity. Vector division is not defined. So, as soon as you see some division between vector, it is not defined. This is not possible at all. Okay. Now, to induce EMF in a coil, the magnetic flux linking must remain constant, must increase, must decrease, both B and C. So, to induce EMF in a coil, the magnetic flux linking, so whatever the magnetic flux linked with the coil, it either increase or decrease or both of them, or it will remain constant. 21A. Yes, Pradeep, Uday, both of you are correct. 20 in the 21 question. In the 22nd question, Uday is saying 22B. It can increase, it can decrease, both is possible, right? So, it says that induced EMF is minus d phi by dt. So, d phi has to be there, it can increase, it can decrease. The polarity will change based on it is increasing or decreasing. Polarity of the induced EMF will be different based on whether it is increasing or whether it is decreasing. But you have to understand that the induced EMF EMF can be induced no matter if you increase it or if you decrease it. Okay. So, both B and C is the correct answer. Okay. So, Pradeep is correct. Uday, your answer is slightly wrong. You have to check your answer once more. Now, another easy question: when a magnet is moved with its north pole towards a closed coil, the nearer end of the coil acts as north pole, south pole. No magnetic field is induced, both N and south pole are induced. So, you have a coil here, you have a magnet whose north pole is moving towards the coil. So, what type of pole is induced in this coil? Very simple question. Lenz law. Pradeep is saying 23A, Uday is saying 23B. So, what is the Lenz law? Lenz law says that it prohibits the cause. Prohibits the cause means I am a teacher, I am asking you to study. So, what you will say? No, I will not study. That is the Lenz law. Lenz law says whatever the teacher is saying, you have to oppose it. So, how it can oppose? If there is a north pole, how can it oppose? But it can oppose only when the north pole is induced here. So, that like poles, they will repel each other. So, as it is trying to get closer, it will say no, do not come close, you stay away. So, they will repel each other. Repelling each other means obviously a north pole is induced. If south pole was induced, in case suppose a south pole was induced, so what would happen in that case? In that case, you have to understand this fact: if south pole was induced, then after you push it, so north pole and south pole, they will start attracting each other. Okay, if this is going in this side, you will say okay, come to me. So, they will start attracting each other, and after a small push the magnet will automatically move towards the south pole without you doing any work. You are not doing any work and there is a south pole. So, you are getting some current in the coil, that means you just did work once and now the coil is producing current infinitely. So, that is not possible, you cannot create energy out of nothing. So, that is basically in the violation of the conservation of energy. That is why Lenz's law says that it prohibits the cause. So, it must produce a north pole to repel it. So, answer is north pole. Now, next question, the magnetic flux linked with the coil varies as phi is equal to 2t square plus 2t. What is the magnitude of induced EMF at t equals to 0.5 second? So, I will give you options are not correct, options I think somehow get copied from the previous question. So, I will give you 1 second, you can mention the answer. I will give you 1 minute, you can mention the answer in the comment, whatever is the answer that you will find. Okay, let me try to do it. Four will be right answer 100%. Pujastri is saying 4, Pradeep is saying 2, 24 answer 4, 24 answer 4. So, you have not solved, I think you have seen the question somewhere. So, you are the first person, the name is written in Hindi. Okay, maybe you have seen the question somewhere or you are super genius. So, phi is equal to, yes, 4 is the correct answer, 2t square plus 2t. Okay. So, what you have to do, induced EMF, magnitude of induced EMF is basically d phi by dt. So, it will be 4t plus 2, right. Now, they have given you time t is equal to 0.5. So, you have to put 0.5 at in place of t. So, it will be 4 into 0.5 plus 2. So, that is 0.5 into 4 is 2 plus 2, that is 4 volt, not 2 volt. Pradeep, you have to check the calculations once more. So, answer will be 4 volt, not 2 volt. Okay. I hope that is clear. This is a straightforward question, no tricks, only thing you have to differentiate and put the time. Okay. Which of the following is the consequence of conservation of energy? Easy question. I will wait 10 seconds to get the answer. Sir, I am new student, my English is poor. Don't worry, all of us are new in this. Even at your age, when I was at your age, my English was super bad. I was not even able to communicate in English. Okay, and when I was, my teacher used to mark my English paper with red ink only. Okay, it was just like a full of red. Okay, it's like someone, my teacher used to say that your English paper is bleeding. It is so pathetic. So, don't worry, with time it will come, but as long as you can understand me, as long as I can understand you, that is fine. Okay, and science does not require super duper mastery of English. Okay, I learned English because I wanted to become a good teacher. That is why English is the most common language among the teachers. So, that is how I learned that English language little bit later on. But as long as I was able to understand my teachers was able to understand me, that is fine for me. Okay, I don't push too much about English, right. A will be right answer. So, yes, A is the correct answer. Let us see who all answered. 25A, 25A, 25A. Muhammad Zaid, thank you so much, sir. You are savior of my case set. Muhammad Zaid, as I said, you asked in the last class also when will be the one shot videos. One shot videos already launched. Today we have launched it, and tomorrow will be my first class at 9 AM. The class is already recorded. Now it is under edit. So, that will be available tomorrow. Okay. Question number 26. The energy stored in an inductor of inductance L in establishing the current I in it is given by half Li, Li square, Li, D is equal to half Li square. 26D, D will be the answer. 26D, Pujastri, Lakshmi, Pradeep and Uday. देखूं लाइव चल रहा है आप पढ़ने के लिए. Please mention your name so that I know what is your name. Okay, because I can read Hindi but your name is not written here, so that's why I am asking you. You can tell me your name in the comment like Uday did. Okay, so we are actually closing the chapters quickly. The following are the statement related to self inductance. So self inductance of a coil depends on its geometry and its the permeability of the medium inside it. The self inductance of is a measure of electrical inertia and opposes the change in the current in the coil. Okay, both statements are wrong. Only statement 1 is correct. Both statements are correct. Only statement 2 is correct. So let's see. Pratik. Okay, Pratik Yadav. Okay, 26C. Yes, Uday, you answered it correctly, Uday. Pujashri, no, not B. Statement 1 is not correct. It is independent of the permeability of the medium inside it. Okay, it does not depend on the permeability on the medium inside it. It depends on the geometry. Obviously, it depends on the geometry, but it is independent of the permeability. But in the statement 2, self inductance is electrical inertia. That is correct. Okay, self inductance is electrical inertia and opposes the charge change in current in the coil. That is obviously correct. So statement 2 is obviously correct, but statement 1 is incorrect. So only statement 2 is correct. Option D is correct. Sir, do you know Hindi completely or partially? I can understand, but Hindi, Kannada, both are not my mother tongue, but I can understand both languages. Okay, I am not fluent in either of the languages, but I can understand all the language a little bit. Okay, I can understand Telugu, I can understand Kannada, I can understand other part of the language also. I don't know Malayali or Tamil for the matter of fact, but I can understand Telugu, I can understand Kannada, I can understand Hindi, English obviously. Anyway, it is not a language class. As I said, the direction of the current induced in the loop ABC is shown in the figure. This is a very interesting question. The same question was there in your model paper 1. Model paper 1, we are doing a solution for model paper 1 as well. My model paper 1 physics will be going live today, so stay tuned for that as well. Okay, and there was a question, the same question was given in the model paper 1, but with a twist. The twist was, in the model paper 1 the option was given such a way that there are 2 possible correct answers there. So this is a modified version of that same question. Here only 1 correct answer is there. Okay, so in the model paper 1 2 possible correct answers there, but if you modify it slightly, there is only 1 possible answer. Okay, this is a old recycled question from KSET. In the KSET, the orientation and the circuit was slightly different. I think, if I remember, KSET, the circuit was like this. Okay, they rotated it and they made a mistake. Okay, they gave 2 options correct. In this case, only 1 option is correct. So along ABC, if I is increasing, along ACB is if I is decreasing, along ABC if it is decreasing, along ACB if it is constant. So obviously we can see the last answer is not correct. If it is constant, that means no flask is changing. No flask changes means no induced EMF. Okay. कौन से एग्जाम की प्रिपरेशन होता है? We do the preparation for KSET. Okay, KSET and Comet K. Okay, both exams are based on Karnataka, and also obviously PU2 exam. PU2 is your class 12th exam. If you are studying in Karnataka, then you are sure that we do preparation for KSET, we do preparation for PU2 class 12th for Karnataka board students, and we also do Comet K. Comet K is a all India based test which is for taking admissions in Karnataka private engineering colleges, but that is also all India level question, the all India level test. And obviously we will explain about Comet K. You can check our channel, we have a lot of explanatory videos on Comet K. Okay, so I hope that clears your doubt, Pratik. Sir, how long this session is going to be? 5 minutes, Pradeep. 5 more minutes. Give me 5 more minutes. Check this question. This is interesting question. This is from your model paper. So try to answer it quickly. 2 more questions are there. After this, 2 more questions. So that will be easy, right? This is the one of the trickiest questions. So first of all, you have to understand that what is the direction of magnetic field. So when the current, suppose the current is constant in this wire, so current is passing in this, so curl your finger, so the fingers will point into the coil, right? So all the magnetic field is into the page of the paper. So this is the default, by default magnetic field, right? Easy. Any doubt in this? So current is flowing in this direction and magnetic field has to be, so if you use your right hand thumb rule, so current and magnetic field, right? This is the right hand thumb rule. Now you have to understand, if the current is increasing, when the current increases, okay, the induced EMF will oppose this original magnetic field. So original magnetic field is into the paper, so opposing means the magnetic field induced in the coil will be opposite side, that is out of the paper. Now out of the paper means induced current will be in this direction. So A, C, B. If current increases, the magnetic field will be in the direction A, C and B. So now if you see, only one option is given for increasing. If it is increasing, then it is along ABC. If it is increasing, it is along ABC, definitely it is not correct. Okay. And let us see what about decreasing. Now if the current is decreasing, then it will try to support the existing electric field. That is the beauty of it. If current increases, it opposes the existing magnetic field. If it is decreasing, then it supports the existing magnetic field. So in that case, the magnetic field will be into the page of the paper, current decreasing, that means the current will be in the direction A, B, C. So it will be in the direction A, B, C. Okay. So along ABC, if the current is decreasing. Also one more important thing, if this is not correct, then definitely it will be correct. That is another way. If you find out that ABC, if I is increasing, not correct, that means it will be definitely along ABC if it is decreasing. That is another way to answer this question. This is a very tricky question. Unfortunately in your model paper, both options are correct. If you want to check that, you can check my today's video, which will be live very soon today evening. There we have discussed model question paper 1. Another easy question, the polarity of the induced EMF in a coil is given by Lenz's law, Faraday's law, Gauss's law of magnetism, Ampere's spectral law. Obviously Lenz's law. I am not going to discuss it. Easy question, similar question. Now this is a interesting question. This one I will give you 1 minute to answer and then I will close this lecture. Current in a coil changes from 1.6 ampere to 0.2 ampere in 2 seconds, inducing an EMF of 2.8 volt. The value of self inductance of the coil is. Okay. So the current changes from 1.6 ampere to 0.2 ampere in 2 seconds, inducing an EMF of 2.8 V. The value of self inductance of the coil is. Yes, 29A, I am not interested in this. Okay, sir, how long? Okay, sir, can you talk me personally? If you agree, then I give your email to you in comment section. No personal talk. मैं इंजीनियरिंग करना चाहता हूँ बेंगलुरु से, क्या करूँ सर? So you can check our channel. We have done a Comed K video and we will be doing a lot more videos on Comed K. If you want to do engineering from Bangalore, and if you are not studying in Karnataka, if you are from Karnataka and if you are commenting, definitely you can appear for KSET exam. If you are outside Karnataka, then you can try for Comet K exam. Comet K exam registration is currently going on. Search Google Comet K, do the registration form. The preparation we will take care of. Okay, that much we can assure you. It is absolutely free. We will take care of Comet K preparation. the cassette series that we are currently doing, the master stroke series that we started today, that will cater for cassette as well as comet case. So you can check those videos, and we will solving some numerical questions in our live session, so that you can follow. Okay, if you are not, live session will be obviously, even if the session is over, you can come and check. So that will be also available. So those will help you to clear comet K exam as well. Now let's see. Current in a coil changes from 1.6 ampere to 0.2 ampere in 2 seconds, inducing an EMF of 2.58 volt. The value of self inductance. What is the self inductance? Relationship between self inductance and induced EMF. So we know that flask is basically given by L into I. Flask is L into I, right? Now induced EMF is d phi by dt. Okay. So if you put this value over here, you will get L di by dt. Okay. So L di by dt is the induced EMF. So induced EMF is given 2.8, and L we do not know, and di is given 1.62.2. This is the change, and the time is given as 2 seconds. So L into 1.4 by 2. So L equals to 2.8 into 2 divided by 1.4. So it will be 2 to the 4. So correct answer is 4 Henry. Easy question, but slightly tricky. Okay, as usual, I said last question is slightly trickier. Then yes, Pradeep, you answered 4. Pratik also answered 4. Uday is saying 30C. Yes, 30C is the correct answer. Yes. Sir, English समझ में नहीं आता, so I cannot understand. So what is the syllabus for cassette? Syllabus for cassette is available in cassette website, which is same as your class 12 syllabus, NCERT book. But if you study from NCERT alone, it is not sufficient, because whatever is NCERT, that is syllabus, but there will be inter topic question. In between two topics, they will merge two topics, which is this kind of problems are not there in your NCERT book directly. So you have to practice either from previous year questions, or you can follow our channel. But we are following the language. Sir, tomorrow's class 11 AM in the morning will be master stroke live session by Aishwarya ma'am. Okay, halogens and halogens, she already took the class, and tomorrow evening will be her class. I am not sure about the chapter. She will be taking both lives, in the morning for master stroke and in the evening for Chakravyuh series as well. Both chapters, both series will be taken care by Aishwarya ma'am. Okay. Next chapter please. So my next chapter will be alternating current. I don't think I will get a class this week. Okay, because Friday's class is not mine. I think Ankit sir will take Friday's class. So my next class will be next Monday, but Saturday and Sunday I will give you two not important chapters as a recorded format. Okay, EM waves, and also there will be atoms, either atoms or nuclei. One of the chapters will be given as a recorded format. Those are not super important. I don't want to waste too much time on those two chapters, but MCQ questions are important. One MCQ will come from all the chapters. So I will give you those two chapters as recorded format. Okay, but otherwise AC is an important chapter. Lot of concepts are there. So those concepts I will discuss in live session only. Okay, please answer me sir. सर 11th का भी syllabus include होता है कैसेट में, only 12th का. So कैसेट 60% question, 60 to 70% question comes from 12th, 20 to 30% question comes from 11th as well. Yes, and even though 11th is not directly coming, some conceptual questions from 12th, they are merged with 11 concepts. So they are called mixed concept question. So mixed concept question can be based on 11th and 12th chapter, and it will be considered a 12th chapter question only, right. Higher order chapter takes precedence. So, maybe gravitation and electric force both will be merged to give you one question, but that will be considered as electric charges and field only. Okay. But overall weightage wise 12th is more heavy. Out total 60 questions are there in the test. Out of the 60 questions, approximately 45 questions is from your class 12th, and from your class 11th about 15 questions are there. Okay. I hope that clear. Sir, my lab exam, wish me sir. Yes, Shubha, all the best for your lab exam. You score 30 out of 30 definitely, and if you have watched our videos, all subjects we have done some tricks and tips, and don't get afraid. Okay, even if your exam is wrong, even if your experiment is wrong, you can still score at least 28. Okay. You can still score 28, only the final result has 2 marks. Okay. So, if you get that result within the error range, then definitely 30 out of 30, otherwise all the best. Punit, from tomorrow my labs will start, wish me sir. No dude, tomorrow I have chemistry lab, I have to prepare. Okay Pradeep, go, all the best. I will close this lecture. You can prepare for your lab exams. I know many of you have your lab exams coming, some of you already have lab exams. Try to clear your lab exam, and if you are giving it your own college, then definitely the internal teachers will help you. And if you are going to others college, if your college is slightly newer and you are going to some other college, then also internal teachers will be from your college only. So, don't be afraid, and also remember that don't panic in the exam hall. Okay, that is the only one tip before exam. Don't panic, focus, and you will be sorted. You will score 30 out of 30. Okay, see you in my next lecture.